I never thought I would say this, but finally the holidays are over. Like finally, they just drug on and on and on and on and on.
I felt like the kids were home for a month.
Yeah, I don't know if it was like this all over the country, but like in Florida, so the kids still had this whole week off after New Year's Day, which was on Sunday.
Right.
And it just felt, it feels like it's March. Like, I was taking Charlie to school this morning, and she goes, it actually feels like we were on summer break. Like, it lasted forever.
I know. It really did. It felt like it was forever.
And for those of you with autistic kids, these big, like, breaks in the routine, yikes.
Awful.
Yikes.
It
was a spicy one. It was a spicy one.
So because I changed everything, Cal's now missing school on Mondays again to have all-day therapy. So tomorrow's his first day back at school, which is going to be probably a nightmare.
Yeah. But we know it, so we're as prepared as you can be. But real quick, I want to thank Aspire Nutrition. They fuel our family and especially Cal's little autism tummy with great probiotics. Billions of strains of probiotics. You can go to dailyautism.com, click on the Aspire Nutrition link, and those are the products and nutrients that we use from Aspire Nutrition. And again, we just love the mission of that company. And Autism Dad, he's like, I got to figure out my son's gut issues, and so he got to work, and now he's built this awesome company, and that's awesome. So Aspire Nutrition, go to dailyautism.com, click on the link, and those are the exact products and nutrients, probiotics and nutrients that we use. Also, the new book from Tracy Slepcevic. It is called Warrior Mom. The ebook debuts tomorrow. If you're listening in real time, today's Monday, January 9th. Tomorrow is the 10th. So anytime after the 10th, you can get that ebook anywhere where you buy books online. So check that out. You can also get more on Tracy and her mission behind Warrior Mom at warriormom.org. warriormom.org. But that ebook, everywhere you buy books, starting Tuesday, January the 10th. We actually met Tracy yesterday, which is crazy because we live a country apart. But her and her family were in Florida, and they were at a conference, and we were able to kind of hook it up, and that was really awesome. And so many times, like, when you talk about people on podcasts or you do a bunch of content on LinkedIn, you never get to really meet these people.
Right.
Like Zoom calls and stuff like that. But it's kind of cool to like be able to like, hey, it's me. Hey, it's you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
No, it was nice to meet them.
It was awesome. It was awesome to meet them. And her husband Steve is a fascinating. I could have talked to him forever. He's like for me is like he's in this really he's built up this really awesome cool company, and we're talking things like storm chasing and stuff like that. So it was really cool. But appreciate Tracy taking the time with her and her family. And meeting her son, Noah, who was the inspiration of the book. And awesome to talk to him. Just a fascinating kid, super cool guy. And so that was cool. So
yeah, I said I hope one day Cal can be like him.
Yeah.
Like he has an opinion and,
Yeah, it was just awesome. It was just awesome to meet them. So we'll definitely, hopefully, be able to hook up with him down the road. But, we're big fans of Tracy's book, and you read it. What did we, I think people think we're joking, but that's the first book you've read since,
I don't know the last time I read a book.
We couldn't figure it out. We're like, when's the last time you read a book?
Well, the last time I did read a book was right after Kyle was diagnosed. I bought this autism book that I never finished.
Well, I think it kind of scared you a little.
Yeah, it was coming from an adult's point of view,
Yeah.
an adult who had autism.
Yeah, it was. Some of it was a little uncomfortable.
And it was just when I was really learning about autism, so I think I just stopped it because,
Yeah.
That's...
Yeah, so you couldn't put Tracy's book down, Warrior Mom. So I just thought it was awesome that we were all able to connect. And who would have thought? Like, I was thinking, like, autism. I've met some cool people, some cool entrepreneurs of autism, but you meet these people that you have this connection with that you never probably would have assumed that it would have been a connection point,
right?
A touch point, autism, and so through a diagnosis. And, LinkedIn, and then a book, and a podcast, and now you're meeting these people all over the country. Like, it's really kind of a cool, when you sit back and you look at it, it's just kind of cool.
Very cool. Yeah, it does connect everyone.
It really does.
Everyone involved, because you don't understand autism unless you live with it.
Yeah.
It's hard to explain to other people.
Somebody wrote me the other day. They were writing a message, and they were like, hey, I'm in your tribe. And I'm like, what tribe is that? And then it's a woman who's involved with autism and stuff. But I was thinking to myself, what tribe am I in again? I had no tribe. I was like, oh, okay.
That's funny.
You have an autistic kid. Okay, yes, we are in the tribe. That's very true. That's pretty good. All right, so we're going back to today. I go out in the kitchen, and Melissa, there's the mixers going, pots and pans. There's food everywhere. It's just crap all over the floor, and you're trying to integrate more nutrients into Cal's diet, which is awesome.
Right.
And you're going back to this thing that you did forever ago, which I thought was really cool. And who's the woman who wrote the book?
Jessica Seinfeld.
Jessica Seinfeld. That's Jerry Seinfeld's wife.
Yes.
Okay. So she writes this book, and it's about pureeing. So it's basically how to sneak nutrients into normal meals or, like dishes, right?
Right, yeah. It's called Deceptively Delicious, and I did this 15 years ago when Tyler was a baby, our oldest son, and it worked.
And just for the purpose, by the way, of just adding more nutrients. Like,
yeah,
at that time,
no
you were a
issues.
stay-at-home mom.
Right.
And you were sort of like, hey, what can I do? I'm bored.
Yeah, I saw that book came out, and it was like really interesting. So I did it all the time.
Yeah.
I snuck it into all of our dishes. Me and you, I'd be like, guess what's in here?
She'd play this game, right? So I'd come home. I was hosting a morning radio show in Atlanta, and I would come home, and I usually get home around 2 o'clock-ish in the afternoon. And she'd be like, hey, here's your lunch. And I'm like, cool. So I'd start eating it. 3 bites in, she's like, do you want to know what's in it? And I'm like, oh, my God. Like, every single meal, she would just watch me, like stare at me as I'm eating. She wouldn't even blink. And I'm like taking bites, and it's like, try visualizing someone staring at you while you're eating, like just staring you right in the face.
And I'd wait to say it.
Yeah, and she'd wait like 3 bites, and she'd go, so do you want to know what's in it? And I'm like, oh, my God. And I'm like, no, because I really like it. It's really good. But if you say something that I think's disgusting, I'm going to stop eating it. And I don't want to stop eating it.
That's funny.
So I'd get like to the end of my meal, and she's like, I have to tell you what's in it. I'm like, oh, my God, then just tell me. Fine.
How long do you think I did that? A year?
Oh, yeah.
Like, it was like the first, I don't know. Like, I guess Tyler probably was like 1.
Yeah.
1 to 2 probably.
Sometimes you'd like send me like to work with like snacks or something, and you'd text me, you want to know what's in it? I'm like, oh, my God. I just want to eat in peace.
Oh, my God.
I don't want to know what's in it.
That's so funny.
She's like, it's really good for you. I'm like, I know it is, but just let me eat.
I was so good at it to the point where so you steam everything. You steam it or roast it, and then you puree it, and then I started freezing it.
Yeah.
Remember? I had a whole bunch in the freezer.
Yeah, our freezer was weird. It was like all this frozen colors and
little baggies of.
It was really good, and if you can devote the time to it like you did, it works.
I know.
I did feel better. What were those things? Not that I eat brownies a lot, but once in a while, like you made it. Was it spinach brownies?
Yeah,
it
was spinach.
Yeah, you would get a serving of spinach in a brownie. It's crazy.
Yeah, and then.
But you're eating the thing about it is that you're also eating a brownie. So it's.
I know, but I just made chocolate chip cookies today.
Yeah.
That were like really not bad for you.
Yeah.
I did sugar-free chocolate chips. I did gluten-free flour.
Yeah.
The 1-to-1 flour. There's oats in there, but the secret thing in it is a can of chickpeas.
Yeah. Well, so
or
that is
garbanzo beans.
Okay, so then she offers.
You can't taste it.
So she
it's
offered
good.
it to Cal. What did he say?
I do not like cookie. I do not like this cookie.
And
I'm like, oh my God, are you kidding me?
He got a piece of the chickpea or something.
Yeah.
Because everything else it should be fine.
He picked it out. So I think for that I need to like do it in the food processor.
Yeah.
And make it really small, and then I don't think he'll be able to taste it. But so today. I feel like food's just easier nowadays because now, like today, I steamed a bag of butternut squash. It was frozen, and then I just steamed it in the microwave. And I pureed it, and I sauteed an onion and garlic and pureed that, and then I put it into spaghetti sauce. So I'm trying it tonight.
He likes spaghetti.
Mm-hmm.
He also is he has got this intuition. He kind of knows when you're trying to get something over on him.
Yeah, he does.
When you have an expectation of like, you need to eat this, he kind of feels that, and he just won't do it. So you really like, you just have to, you can't even, it sounds crazy, you can't even think what you're thinking.
No.
Because he'll pick up on it.
Yeah, he knows what I was doing with the cookies.
Oh, yeah.
Luckily, he didn't see any of the stuff I pureed for the spaghetti. But if he's eating the spaghetti and I say, eat your spaghetti, or is the spaghetti good, he'll know.
Yeah.
So we can't say that.
Yeah, it's like you said, if you get overexcited about something, he'll just feel like you're trying to make him do something he doesn't want to do, so he just won't do it. Like you just have to act like you could care less if you eat this or not.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
like, hey, there's some spaghetti if you want it, and then if he's like okay, and then you just kind of lazily put it together.
Right.
Like almost like you're bored making the meal and you don't really care.
He
Like,
does know.
I have sometimes picked up my phone and just talked to nobody on the phone while I'm putting snacks together for him. Because if he's like, oh, okay, well, he's obviously more concerned with talking on the phone than making this, so it must not be a big deal.
Right.
And he'll just eat it.
Sometimes, like when he's eating before we leave the house and we have a babysitter coming, if we try to be like, Cal, come on, eat your food, he's like, nope, I'm not eating it.
Yeah.
You're not rushing me.
Yeah, because he does. It's like he knows if you're trying to set an agenda, he's like, nope, that's not my agenda. You're not. That's the it's tough to say because even when some of our therapists told us back in the day, but that's kind of the manipulation side of this, where it's like, oh, so you're trying to manipulate me into a situation. Well, watch this.
Yeah.
And he's really good at it, picking it up, and he just knows. I mean, he just knows. Yesterday, Tyler, who's our oldest, he came into the kitchen, and it's our last weekend of our neighborhood football pool. So he's like, hey, what games did you pick? And I saw Cal stare at Tyler, leave the room to come. He literally just wanted to look at the picks real quick that I had made, and he just stared at him. And he's like, oh, you're not going to pay attention to me? And I don't know if he can make himself go to the bathroom, or he just happened to have to go. But he did, and then reached in his diaper, and it was everywhere. And so
I just told our neighbor this yesterday.
What?
I said the weird thing is that so her daughter was babysitting. She's new babysitting Cal, and I'm like, and she said Cal was perfect, and I'm like, I don't know if he does he's purposely good for her because he knows she's new, and then her older daughter who also babysits, I'm like, Allison's never had to deal with a poop situation.
Yeah.
But if it's us, any of us. We do.
Yeah.
I'm like, so I don't know if he does it on purpose because it's us or I don't know.
It does seem like it's used against us, like when the attention is not on him. It's never when you're just sitting next to him talking, playing, or anything.
No.
Ever. It's.
And we say attention, and he's literally by us all the time.
Yeah.
It's just if you look at your phone or something,
Is our door opening and closing? Are they going back outside?
No, I think she's getting a bowl for food.
Oh, okay.
For snacks.
Gotcha. Yeah, one of his therapists is here right now, so I was hearing doors open and close, and I was like, "What's going on? What adventure is coming towards us?"
I know. No, I said it. It's like he does it on purpose, but she's like, "It's kind of hard to make yourself poop," and I'm like, "Well, I don't know."
I know. Pull up a chair. Let's tell you all the other things that are hard to do, but somehow he gets them done.
I know.
Pull up a chair. It's story time, everybody.
Well, even the other day, I left the house and he said, "Mommy's gone," and he got naked.
Yep.
For you.
Yep. Yep. Mommy's gone. And then yesterday afternoon, after the whole smearing thing, I think he heard us talking that we were leaving because we were kind of making some plans out loud. We were going a little bit further outside of our comfort zone than we normally do, which really legitimately is scary. I mean, I know it sounds ridiculous, but...
we're usually 5 minutes from home.
We have we call it the bubble. We have our 5-minute bubble, and I am exclusively in the 5-minute bubble. I don't think I've left the 5-minute bubble for 2 years. Honestly.
I know.
I mean, I just haven't, and that's fine. But you sometimes have to drive for some things, but I'm in the bubble, and
you really probably haven't in 2 years.
Yeah, but so yesterday, well, like you said, we went to meet Tracy and her family, and I'm like, oh, we're getting out of the bubble, man. We're a minute out of the bubble. And I was legit. I was nervous. I was nervous because you first off, it's bad. I need to get out of the bubble more. I actually kind of realized that yesterday because, no, it's not good to feel like this. You know what I mean? To be like, oh, you can't really leave because if there's a problem, and inevitably there will be a problem, what are you going to do? But I don't know. I can't be.
So you were a little anxious?
it wasn't anxious. Like it just felt weird.
Yeah.
Like-
I get like that too.
Yeah,
And I do get out more often than you, like for appointments and stuff.
yeah, and I'm like, man, I haven't been on a plane since like 2016. That's
which we
weird for me.
which we just talked about yesterday. Like we couldn't put him on a plane; we'd get kicked off.
Yeah, like 2016. It's 2023. Wow, dude, am I gonna go 10 years without getting on a plane? That's weird for me. I was on a plane a lot. I was on a plane a few times a year, though. For sure, I was on a plane a few times a year.
Yeah,
Wow, that's crazy.
That is crazy.
And so, but people are like, how often do you get over to Tampa? I'm like, Tampa? I don't go to Tampa. Like never. And they're like, well, what? How far do you live from Tampa? I'm like 26 miles. They're like, so you don't go? I'm like, hell no. That's far away.
Oh my gosh, it is. It does seem far away. Trey's 10 years old, and I haven't been on a plane since he was 7 months old.
Wow. Yeah. So you're 10 years. Yeah. It is funny. Like you look at it, but yeah, we were talking to Tracy and her husband Steve yesterday about it. Like, just first off, a road trip we couldn't even do. I mean, 25 minutes is probably his,
Because then he's out of his bubble.
Right.
He's not used to being in the car that long.
Exactly. So it's yeah, I don't know. I do want to travel this year. Like, I don't know. No, I lied. I don't want to travel this year.
We've talked about like running a VRBO, like a beach house or something, so it's close to home.
Yeah, I mean, but we basically live here at the beach. And
I know.
But yeah, renting a different house like 5 minutes down the street. But it seems like, really? You're really?
Well, that one time we went to Siesta Key, he actually did a pretty good job.
That was fun. And that felt different because, it's 45 minutes away. So that did feel a little bit different. He did pretty good.
He did.
He did pretty good. But yeah, it does. It just feels so weird to like not do what you used to do. And then when you start, what feels even more strange is like when you think about how will you get back involved doing it. And
I know.
I'm like,
it's hard to
ooh,
picture.
Yeah. Like, I don't know how I could do that,
I know.
It's, yeah.
Well, earlier I was going to talk about we don't really like him eating when babysitters are here because he overstuffs his mouth, so we always worry about choking.
Yep.
And sometimes he plays games with food.
Yep.
And he does it on purpose. Like if you want him to take smaller bites, he'll just shove the whole thing in his mouth.
Yeah. Or if he like he'll throw something like his water cup and you're like, Cal, we don't throw our water cups. You don't need to do that. You can just ask if you need more water. If you don't want it, that's fine, but you don't have to throw it. And he'll just grab all his food and start shoving it in his mouth. Because he's like, well, I know, it sounds like you're trying to discipline me. So now I'm going to make you scared because I know this will do it. And he will. I mean, it's
he purposely scares us.
No other word than manipulation. That's what and it's hard, man.
There's also no disciplining him because it's just starting a meltdown.
Yeah, and there shouldn't be although there's very mild, like for instance, like even a few minutes ago, like he wanted to cut out sharks on paper, and his therapist was like, "That's fine, we'll do that together, but first, it's almost time to sit on the potty."
Yes.
And, he was like, "No, I do not." He said, "I do not want to sit on the potty."
I know.
And she goes, "But we are because I told you earlier that's what we were going to do. And we have to do it because we said we would do it." So he did it. I mean, he was reluctant, but he went and did it.
He did it, and he was actually good doing it for her.
Right.
If that was me, it would have been a full-blown meltdown for a long time.
Because he knows that hurts us when he does the meltdowns. He knows it makes us upset.
Yep.
Like sad upset. So it's crazy. That's like I tell people, like my buddies who call and they're like, "Hey, how are things going?" And then I'm like, you wouldn't get it. It's all good. And I don't expect you to understand. Like, you know what I mean?
I know.
Yeah. I
mean, when people start asking me questions, I'm like, it's kind of depressing. Like I think they're sorry they asked.
Yeah. And that's, I think, why some of them don't ask anymore.
Which is probably a good thing.
Yeah. Oh, well, I think they're like, well, we don't want to make them uncomfortable. Not that it makes us uncomfortable. We'll talk about anything, but yeah, it is funny. Like you and then there's people like we just don't hear from anymore, because I think they're sort of like,
It's true.
Yeah. They just, I don't know.
We definitely get invited to less stuff.
Yeah. Which is fine because we'd have to say no to most of it anyway. So I think it's just people are just like, why ask? We know they can't come.
Well, even even now when we do get invited to stuff, we usually don't take him. We usually like work it out so we don't have to take him.
Yeah, unless it's like a pool party or a beach setting, even
Yeah,
at that,
pool party is great for him.
Yeah, even at that, like you got to be careful because, if it's too active of a situation, it overstimulates him a little bit.
Yeah.
He hates birthday parties because he hates the song.
Right.
So we can't go to birthday parties. But he's like a good one-on-one. He's fine with going somewhere by himself, like a We Rock the Spectrum.
Oh yeah.
And even if it's just his brothers and sisters, he's perfectly fine with that. Like that makes him happy. He'll stay there forever.
He really will.
So
he actually cries when we leave.
Yeah, which is a good thing because you got to find something that they love, something that they're into.
Right.
So I think that's one of the things in the beginning of the diagnosis. It was like, what is he going to like, and are we going to be able to find it?
Right.
Well,
we were driving today, and he said, "French fries, restaurant."
Yeah. And sometimes he wants a restaurant.
Yeah.
But then sometimes you get to the restaurant, and you could be there 5 minutes, and it is on, and so you got to order to go.
Yep.
Well, we've said this before. We said this probably like 80 episodes ago. One of our moves is at a restaurant is like we order the stuff in to-go boxes.
Yep.
Just don't worry about your plates. Bring it out in to-go boxes. And people are like, really? But you're not going to sit here and eat it? No, we will. But at any point, we may have to rip the cord, pack these boxes up. And that all started on your birthday like 3 years ago.
Yep. He was a baby.
Oh, my gosh. And
he wasn't even close to being diagnosed yet. I don't think we knew anything.
He almost killed those old people. Remember, he flung the iPad?
Yeah, and these people did not like kids.
Oh,
they were so pissed when a table with 5 kids sat right next to him.
Yeah, and our 4 other kids are great. Like, we've worked hard with, like, manners and everything like that, and eating habits and eating manners and at the table and everything. They're really good. He, though, was just getting into meltdowns, and we didn't really know what was going on. We knew something was going on.
Yeah, no, so he threw a book at the guy.
It was a book. Yeah,
and the guy actually was eating soup. He was eating French onion soup.
He was eating
So it
French
hit
onion
his
soup.
spoon, I think, and flung it.
Yeah.
And then I had to reach over into his table and get the book.
Ugh.
And I said, "I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah." But he didn't say a word.
No.
They did not say a word.
These are the people, though, like, they were mad when when we walked in the restaurant, they looked over, they saw the booth next to them, and they were like, "Oh, my God, they're coming right here, aren't they?"
Yeah.
Yep. And Cal made it as miserable as possible for those people.
He probably could feel it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like we're talking about, he like feels this energy. He probably felt their bad energy.
Honestly, I felt bad it was happening, and I wanted to feel bad for them, but their body language was so like, you guys are just...
They're rude.
You guys suck.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, yeah, you can endure 5 minutes of hell. You know what I mean? Yeah, their body language was horrible. But
that was like, we all got in the car because it was my birthday. No one said a word. But that same situation just happened at the beach. We went to the beach. He was having meltdowns. We could only stay 30 minutes. We all got in the car and no one said a word.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Nobody was mad. It was just, we're like, okay, this is what we're doing.
And it's sometimes the podcast like today is just kind of that. It's just, yeah, that's not great. It still happens, but you know what? We've just adjusted. Like I said, it's like I think the families that struggle are the ones that are like, no, it's not autism, it's not spectrum related. We'll get through it. It's video games. It's his siblings do things for him, and he's frustrated. And the reality is, if you know, you probably know. If it's way off, then you probably got a responsibility to get some things to start asking some tough questions. But yeah, so it's like sometimes it's not like, oh yeah, we figured this out, we hacked this, we did that, because for some things with autism that just doesn't exist.
Right.
So what do you do? So you do what you can do. So it's like order the food in a to-go box. That way you can eat and we'll pay the tab immediately.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, it's just like we're gonna cash this out now, have our boxes, so we can get out of there quick.
And we don't typically go to new restaurants. We go to like the same restaurants we've been to.
Yeah, because the ones that he's been to and we've made it through, so we know, okay, well, we haven't had a problem there. And so that usually works.
Well, one of the restaurants is up the street. Remember, and he had a meltdown the last time. And it's because of the clock.
Oh, yeah. Jodo's, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. They've got this cool like old time clock, or is it the digital clock?
No, it's just a regular clock.
Oh yeah.
But he was just off because
hands.
he wants to stand in front of the clock and watch it.
He wants to watch the hands move.
Yeah,
you know.
But he would not sit in his chair. It was awful.
And once he saw the clock, I mean, you just can't stand there and stare at the clock in the pizza restaurant.
No,
I mean, you can't. It's just too busy.
Right.
And
it's like in the middle of the restaurant.
Yeah, and people are, what's going on? You know, it's like.
Yeah.
You also don't want to make other people uncomfortable. I mean, I understand that. You know, it's like, I mean, there's a certain point where I'm like, listen, sometimes you got to do the wrong thing for the right reason. But I also don't want to make people, like, what's going on? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, I don't want to make them
standing
feel, yeah. And so,
the chair's noisy.
so I get that and whatever. So yeah, we had to get out of there. But
I got to go get the kids.
you got to go with the kids?
Yeah.
The elementary school kids?
Yeah.
That's the only thing about back to school is we've had like this very narrow windows now of getting things done. Then we got to race to school. And
Yeah, because like in another hour, you have another pickup.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying like 5 kids, 4 different schools. Like we're running. But guess what? All the schools are in the bubble. Every damn one of them.
Yep.
We're bubble people. We're bubble people.
Well, it's true. And in 1 hour, we have another pickup. And then you come home and then you have to go right back out to get Tyler.
From wrestling practice.
Yeah. We have no help, people.
We really don't.
We don't.
We
I mean,
really
we're raising 4 kids, and then on top of that, we have a kid with autism.
It's so weird because I'm so up for adventure. I want to do adventure stuff. I want to tackle big things, And now let's do another podcast called Life in the Bubble or Bubble Folks. Bubble people. Life from the bubble. Bubble.
Okay.
All right. Well, back to pureeing and picking up kids, right?
Oh, yes.
All right. We're out of here.